Hello everyone. Happy Tuesday. Thanks for joining me. We are continuing on the Aurifil block of the month. We have a whole pile of parts done for this. I think we might get real close to finishing this tonight. So thanks for joining me. My name is Alyssa Thomas from Penguin and Fish, where we make cute embroidery kits for the beginning crafter. And I'm here every weeknight at 8:30 p.m. Central Time, and it's a time that we can relax and craft together. I'm here for about an hour, and I work on projects from beginning to end so you can be part of the whole process along the way. So, all right, Aurifil block of the month for December. Here it is, centered pinwheel. It is all very pretty purples. Yesterday we picked our fabrics. We got this little kind of pinwheel almost started. We'll sew this together first thing. Our little pinwheel, getting there. And yeah, I'm excited to see where this goes. We're going to do a really fun way to do flying geese units tonight. So it's going to be a little magical. So a few little magic steps to this quilt block, and it's basically done in no time. We just started yesterday, so this is going to be easy peasy. This will be fun. So let's get going. Thanks, guys, for joining me. All right, here we go again. Let's see, get that pinwheel back. So we're going to start by sewing these 4 pieces together. We were playing around with the half square triangles, but yesterday we basically got A pieces done and B pieces done. So they look really close to the same thing, but you can see that between the A and B pieces, these 2 elements are switched on either of them. So you got to put the like with like. Oh, see, I'm already messing it up. There we go. So B pieces together and A pieces together. So there we go. We are going to start off by sewing together this pinwheel in the middle, and then we'll be doing our neat flying geese unit with our big gray square and all of these little pieces. So I have seen this done before, but I haven't done it. It is a little magical, so I'm excited for that. But I wanted to share some fun stuff with you guys. So I got some happy mail. These are from Marie. Remember, we were doing that fun seam ripper by just putting the seam ripper on the top of the Aurifil thread spool. So this looks like it's a whole system where you kind of suction cup it to your table and then just zoom your seam through. So next time we have to use a seam ripper, we're definitely going to give this a try. Marie found that and while we were working on it and thought I might want it. So thank you so much, Marie. She also made these little needle minders. So needle minders are for when you're using a hoop and you want to store your needle instead of like setting it on the table and losing it all the time like I do. So these are 2 little magnets. You put it on either side of the fabric, and then you just can lay the needle right on top of there and it'll stay, and it can just hang out on your embroidery piece. So I want to use these when we work on our next embroidery too. So that was so sweet. And I wanted to just share with you guys. And then also I got a fun package from Jennifer. It's all full of fun kitty stuff. Here we go. Cute. I love these little guys. I'm gonna set this up in my office. It's just little like motivational cards, but it has like kitties on, so every day I can just flip to like one little thing. I like it. And she was also super sweet. Oh, we have this Australian patchwork quilt book of hers. So there's some really kind of fun designs in here. Let me try and get to one of these applique ones. But like, look at this applique. It's just so beautiful. So this is fun. I'm excited to play around with this, and that stained glass technique with a bias tape. I'd like to try that. But anyway, a bunch of good goodies. So I just wanted to thank Marie and Jennifer. You guys are super duper sweet. But I love cat stuff like that, so that's going in the room for sure. But that was fun mail. Got excited. I'm like, what did I order? I don't know. It was just happy mail. All right, you guys. Let's start with these two here. And that's the plan. So these are all of our A pieces, and we're on page 2 now as well. We made it all the way through page 1 yesterday. The cutting, sewing, everything. So all right, first steps first. Let's just quickly finish this. I'm going to sew these 2 pieces and then these 2 pieces. We'll press. These are pressed this way. This seam allowance is pressed that way, and then we'll sew the grouping together as well. We're basically getting this center out of the way. So let's do that. All right. So for top row. So we kind of have a few things that we want to pay attention to here. We do want to do our best to match our diagonal lines here and our diagonal seams here. You know, it might not be bad to throw a clip in there. I'm going to get my Wonder Clips. Let's just because I'm going to line this up, I'm going to just kind of line up those diagonals as best I can. And you know what? I'm just going to throw a clip in there. And same thing on this side. We'll kind of be able to feel it. And it looks like they're pressed in opposite directions here. So those we should just be able to kind of nest together. All right, let me grab another clip. Probably just clip right here and keep sewing. There we go. Now these are pressed open, so we'll just have to kind of start them in the right spot. All right. Let's give it a go. All right, there's the first, and then these 2 guys. All right, so I'm nesting those seams at the top because they're pressed in opposite directions. Let's clip down here. Let's try and match up those diagonals. Okay. Great, let's start another leader here. Oh, that's 4 pieces, I only need 2. And then we need to press these and sew them the other direction, and then we're good to go. All right, snip. Let's get that other leader off here. Okay, let's grab the iron, our pressing mat. Okay, so which is the top and bottom? I suppose they're pretty much the same, right? So one of these, there we go. The top one, we're going to press the seam allowance this way. So here, I'm going to start on this side. Let's press this open again. Try that again. So I hope everyone's having a wonderful day today. Oh, thanks so much, Jennifer. You are so sweet. That was a wonderful, wonderful surprise. Surprise today. I appreciate it a ton. All right. So here we go. We have the seam allowance pointed to the right, and this seam allowance we want pointed that way. So we'll start by pressing here. Get that seam again. think we did a pretty good job at matching our seams. Let's take a little bit closer look at that. This way and that way. Okay. So that's that point that we were trying to match up. So us putting the diagonals together, we got that really nice point there. And also up here is not too shabby. So those are those points that we want to match. Let's see how we did on this one. Yeah, not too bad at all. So the goal is once we sew it in, we sew right to the point, and we're not clipping it by going a little bit over, and we're not too far up this way where we have a lot of this top fabric left over. But we'll get to that. So, all right, well, this actually is a good point here. So we're going to put these two together. We want these 2 points, this point right here where they meet, and this point right here where they meet, where all these points meet. We want those to match. Plus we want these diagonals to match and these diagonals to match. So we have a few things we need to match up. This right here, I might actually match up with a pin. So I'll show you how I do that. And then we'll sew this strip together. So this is a little bit more involved to really get a precise sew. I mean, you might get it right off the bat, which would be awesome. But this is a method I like just to double check. And this is what I do for foundation paper piecing as well. So I'm going to flip this one over. So right where the seams all meet, so you can see they crisscross, the diagonal ones crisscross. I'm going to put a pin right in there, straight down. And I should come up like right where all these points meet. So that's pretty good. So my pin is, you can see right here where those meet. And now I'm going to flip it over, like right sides together. And I'm going to put that pin right in where I want it to meet right here. So I'm matching up those 2 points. Okay, so at this point, the pin is going through both of those nice points. We do have the seam sewn in opposite direction here, so that will help sandwich it together. And then we also want to kind of match up our edge. Let's actually maybe get those edges first. So here we want to get those diagonals meeting. Okay, that's looking pretty good. Let's get this side. And you probably could do this without pins and sew right across, and you might be just fine. But we're going to do a few little extra just to check. Okay, so now this pin should be straight through this way and straight this way. If we shift it like this, then our whole fabric shifts up a little bit, and we know that those points aren't meeting exactly. So if this is straight in every direction, basically, then we know we are matched up. So, all right, I'm going to, once I get to that point, where it feels all matched up, I'm going to throw a pin in here, or a clip. And at that point, I can remove the pin. So we should be matched up here. So let's sew and see how we do here. Okay, let's see. All right, let's remove that. So we have a little bit of a stretchy material here too. So hopefully it doesn't affect things. All right, so I'm taking off that clip. You know what? I would like my stiletto here. My stiletto is kind of like acts as a pin. So you can see where our seams crisscross. We are going to aim right for that point. I mean, it should just be in the right spot, but we're going to mentally aim for it. There we go. Sewed right through there, and now we should be all perfectly attached there, all the points matching. And now let's get to the end, and hopefully these diagonals match as well. Ooh, hopefully they match. Okay, scary. Now we get to see how we did Let's get this off the machine. There we go. All right. Snip that. Get rid of you. All right, let's see how we did. We'll press it flat too, but all right, the goal was to have all of these meet up perfectly. Not too shabby. Ooh, I think especially if we pull it and really press it, they're all pretty much coming to the same point in the middle there. Good enough that I don't think anyone would notice if it's off just a hair. This point looks good, matched up. Not too bad. Okay, I can breathe a little bit now. That's good. All right, let's press this. It looks like they want us to press it down. So press the seam allowance down. So let's do that. Press it down. So we'll press on this side first. Just kind of get it going. Set that seam, and now we'll just kind of crank on it. Let's see if we can get this, ooh, ouch, super flat. There's a lot of fabric coming to the middle right there, so it's going to be a bit bulky. We're not going to want to quilt it right through that point because we'll probably break a needle. There's just so much fabric right there. Really trying to squish it. All right, not too bad. There's our center pinwheel. Pretty subtle, just because of the colors we chose. I think they all kind of blend together a little bit, but I kind of like it. It is so juicy. I like it a lot. All right, you guys. Next up, I'm gonna just kind of place these here because I like seeing this kind of develop. So these are all the A pieces, remember, and then these are the B pieces. We're not to this point yet, but it's fun to see. Those will go here eventually. Fun. Okay. It's like a grape jelly block. All right, so this is where the next little magic step is going to happen, and this is just going to be a really fun, interesting way to make flying geese units. So flying geese units are where you have that big triangle with the two smaller triangles in the corner, where you have a triangle rectangle. Like you start with a rectangle, you have like a long triangle, and then you have those two triangles in the corner. That is called a flying geese unit. Here we go, right here. That's what one of those looks like. But we have a really kind of fun way that looks like some magic origami piece of how to do this. So we're gonna walk through this. So, all right, what do we have left? We have just one square, and that's our gray, our big square. I think this is like 7 inches or something. And then we have 4 of these little squares here, which are looking awfully pretty. This is just such a beautiful fabric. Okay, let's read. So, oh, you know what? Let's just check something. This is supposed to measure 6.5 inches. Let's see how close to that we got. Hopefully very close. There we go. It's over here. Looking for the ruler. So this ruler happens to be 6.5 inches. Let's just get on top of it. Yeah, I maybe well, is that a 16th or an 8th? I think I'm I am a little less than an 1/8 of an inch off. So that seems, for me, that probably means that I'm making my seam allowance a little too big now. I don't know. We're pretty close. We're not too far off. I feel okay about it. I feel like we can at least make it the size it needs to be by like pulling on it a little bit. I think we'll be okay. Okay, but that's supposed to be 6.5 inches. All right, so let's do this. Use 4 dark purple squares and the 1 gray 7.5 inch square for this. Okay, we are going to draw a diagonal line from corner to corner on the back of each of these. So let's start there. Luckily, it's a light color on the back, so that'll be easy. All right. my, oops, I have my pencil here. That will work. Ultimately, you're kind of going to be cutting on these lines, so if you use a pen or something else, you're probably going to be fine. I think just a pencil does the job. A water-soluble marker would probably be a good idea. You could do that too. If you're doing it on like a white fabric, I probably wouldn't use a pen or something like that, just in case you can see it through, you know, on the back of the seam allowance or something. I don't know. Something washable, or just, you know, this pencil will kind of wear away. Ooh, drawing on my table. Okay, step one, completo. All right, so with right sides together, so this doesn't have a right or wrong side, so we're just going to go right here. We are going to align two of these fellers on the diagonal of any, you know, either or, one of the diagonals of this square, the large square. You know what, I might actually even just throw a clip in there, because we're getting to large floppy pieces. You know, we're so used to working with these small pieces, but when you get to the large floppy pieces, it's not a horrible idea to just kind of clip them down. All right, and then, so there's that diagonal line. I'm going to continue that diagonal line on this one, so that it will overlap. You don't have to worry about that. Okay, that looks like it's in place, and you know what? Floppies are going to get clipped. Okay, so now we basically have, it looks a little weird, but we basically have a large version of what we did yesterday. We have a square with a diagonal line, and we are going to sew a 1/4 inch on both of those sides of the diagonal line. And that is step one. So let's do that. Let's just double check. The right sides together, align the two 4-inch squares and a diagonal across the 7.5-inch square. So a 1/4 inch from the drawn line on both sides, and then we will cut on the drawn line like before. And then we will press a really odd looking shape, but it's half of the process. It's gonna, this is the part that's gonna be fun. This is the little magic stuff happening with these flying geese units. All right, so, oh gosh, this is a large piece. I haven't sewn a piece, you know, this 7-inch piece like this, a piece this big for a while. So I'm happy I erred on the side of throwing some clips in there. Especially since my gray fabric, my background fabric, is pretty sloshy is a good way of saying it. It's kind of stretchy. So this may be this may be a question mark about how exact these are sewn, but I'm trying to stay flat here. Okay. Phew, did one side. All right, let's get a leader. Okay, and then let's get the other side. Okay, so we've sewn along the one side, and now we're going to just rotate. Should be easier now. We don't really need the clips anymore, and we'll get this other side. Okay, flatten it out. There we go. That went quickly. All right, let's throw another leader in here. Got another row of 5 done. this guy off, and let's see what we got here. All right, I don't need those clips. A little floppy. All right, let's cut all the way down the center line. This is where some crazy magic stuff happens. All right, let's grab a ruler. I need a longer ruler now. So we're going right down that diagonal, right where we drew that pencil line. Gotta hold my breath. Put that safety on. And okay, we are gonna get some weird shapes here now. So we basically have a big half triangle here with these little like fox ears. See, we got a little like fox or cat going here, and we got a second one over here. So a little absurd, like what the heck are we doing? But it's all part of the process. So first of all, we're gonna press these. We're gonna press the seam allowance towards our dark pieces here. So I'm gonna press here, and then we'll fold them up, each one of them, so we're nice and flat like that. Let's get the pressing mat. All right. It's really kind of difficult to work with this particular fabric. It is just so floppy. All right. Press that guy. Oops. Getting a little underneath it there. Alright, I think that looks good. So if you really want to break down what we're doing here, this will actually be one of the flying geese units, and this over here will be the other one. And this is a great way to do flying geese units, and you don't waste a single centimeter of fabric. It's kind of awesome. So there's that. And let's get this one. Let's kind of set that seam. All right, I think that's as good as we're gonna get that. So here we go. We got our two like fox heads. We are on to the next step here. So we got another one of these fellers, and with right sides together, we're going to put the 4-inch square on the unsewn corner. So that's this right here, and this right here, and we're going to go like this. So the diagonal line is right here, and it's going right through this kind of sewn point where these guys meet. All right, so that looks pretty good. I am gonna let's just throw some wonder clips all over this. It is just so floppy that I think I need them. All right, so that's one. Put that one upside down. Oh my gosh, these just jump out of my hand. Okay, and same with this one. Might be easier to like hold it with the like the fox looking shape, and then you can just place it right down the line there. Just kind of kitty scratch it, like a little scratch the top of it until everything lines up really nice. All right, let's throw some just clips in there. You probably don't need the clips, but like I said, my particular gray fabric is kind of just extra floppy. So I think this is helping. All right, same sort of deal. We are going to sew on either side of that diagonal. I mean, it's going to be goofy. We have all this other stuff going on, but that's okay. We're just going to ignore that and focus on sewing on either side of that diagonal. We're going to do that on both of these, and then we'll cut down the middle, and we're gonna magically have 4 flying geese units. Kind of magic. All right. Let's try this first side. And I'm going to get my second piece going here right away. All right, now let's get that first one back up here. Ooh, this is a lot of weight. It is flopping all over the place. Okay, let's get rid of this guy. I think we have 5. Yep. I'm making rows of 5 of those. All right, and then we'll flip around this way and get the other side of our unit. All right, get him out of the way. All right, that guy's done. Let's grab the other one. Ooh, get underneath there. There we go. Wasn't catching the feed dogs on that. Boop. All right, let's get a leader in there. Oops, I have one right here in my scrap pile. Awesome, let's take this off the machine. Okay. Snip them apart. And, all right, don't need our clips anymore. So let's get the cutting board. We're gonna cut right down the diagonal. You can still see my pencil lines there. It looks crazy, but it's gonna work. All right, let's get this ruler. Oh, I agree, Marie. The clips are some of my favorite notions. They come in so handy. They are surprisingly strong. I feel like if I clipped something, I could throw it across the room and it could hit the wall and the clips would be in place still. Ooh, let's peek. All right, so now our pieces are apart. We should be able to press this and look, we have our flying geese unit with no wasted fabric whatsoever. Ugh, it's great. Okay, so here's 2. Let's cut apart this second crazy looking unit and then we'll press. Fun, it's totally like magic. You guys, now all we have to do is sew the 9 pieces together. Like, this is it. We are in the last round of this one. All right, let's press. Okay, so we will press it in the same way. We'll press this little back and fold it over. I'm just reading the instructions here. Cut on the drawn line of both halves. Okay, we did that. Press the triangles open with the seams to the smaller triangles. Okay, that's what we're doing. That's what I figured. All right, so here's one. Okay, it does say to trim these, so we will trim them down. I think that's basically to get rid of these little dog ears. Ooh, I am a little off up here though, so it'll be good to trim these. So let's just finish pressing. There's one. We'll just make a little stack here. That trimming, you know, I thought I was on to the piecing all our pieces together, but nope, we have to trim them all down. I'm telling you, the cutting and pressing always sneak into the process. And I'm like, oh, thought I was on to the next thing, but the next thing is more pressing and trimming. We'll get it done. Oh gosh, that's for sure, Marie. Marie says, someone was sure genius to come up with these great shortcuts for outstanding outcomes. Yeah, I mean, this one is so cool. I love that we didn't waste any, like, fabric. Well, we're going to be trimming them, but, you know, besides just trimming them, I mean, kind of magical. But yeah, the person who figured this out and who figured out the math of it all, too, it's pretty impressive. All right, is that 4? I think we're to 4. Great. All right, let's trim these. I think we'll get our little, I kind of like this little guy for trimming things like this, especially when we have to rotate. Okay, so this needs to be 3.5 inches by 6.5. So right in the middle of 6.5 would be 3.25. So I'm going to measure this and make sure that right in the middle there, I'm on my 3.25 mark. And then for up and down, oh, and then I want to be 1/4 inch from this point as well. So let's kind of go over that. So this point right here, I want it to be, you know, we're going to be sewing this into the quilt, right? So I want 1/4 inch here because I want, when I sew it in, to have like a perfect point. And then from here to here, this point should be 3.25 inches from either side. So we end up with a 6.5 inch rectangle. So 1/4 inch from the top and 3.25 inch right in the middle. I'm going to use that as my guideline. And then let everything else kind of fall where it may. I mean, and I'm also going to make sure that my diagonals are close to being on the diagonal, I guess. So I'm putting it right at this point. The point that's 1/4 inch from the top of the ruler and 3/4 inch in. There's a little marker on here. Ooh, I'm a little off over here though, so we might not get totally perfect. I might have to eke it over just a little. This will be our first one. We'll see how it goes. Okay, 1/4 inch here. That makes sense, right? Let me know if my math sounds really weird on there. Does it clearly... Oh, does the clearly slotted trimmer work for this? No. That would have to work if it was folded, so that wouldn't work. This just seems weird. I feel like it should be like right here. But then that point isn't exactly where I want it to be. You know, I am dealing with this weird stretchy fabric too, so that might be something making this a little bit goofy. I think we're going to go like right there. That's it. We're doing it. So I kind of have this bottom line along one of the edges of my ruler. And that 1/4 inch, 3.25 inch mark is there, and 1/4 inch down. I think this is about as good as it's going to get. Let's give it a go. We'll do the first 2 edges. Oh, it's so scary. Yeah, my ruler is 6.5 inches, so that's helpful. Oh, I didn't really check that 3.5 inch mark. Okay, so this bottom line should be on the 3.5 inch mark, which it is. Good. Which should also make this point on that 1/4 inch mark from the top. All right, I think we're fine. This is it. All right, so we got that first nice edge. Let's rotate around, and now we can do exactly that 6.5 inches with the 3.5 inch. I don't think we need to cut any off of the top, and I think we're just really cutting the dog ear off of this. We'll go all the way up. There. Okay, I think that's our first nice little flying geese unit. So we can just plop it up here right away. Okay, next up. I think I got a system though now. It's going to be easiest just to start on that 3.5-inch line at the bottom. Line that point at that 3.25 mark, and at that point we should be good. All right. And rotate. 3.5. And so I cut those two good lines. Now I can just put the ruler on those two edges, or my markings. And yeah, again here, we really just need to cut off that dog ear, and I think we're probably fine. All right, that's 2. All right, let's put the good ones here. Okay, 3.25 and 3.5 at the bottom. All right, looking good. Any more on that side? It's close. All right, this I just need to chop off this edge. Okay, one more and then we can sew this whole guy together. I think we'll still get it tonight. Okay. Three and a half minus 6.5. All right, I think we're probably as close as we need to be here. All right, now we just sew the whole thing together. We have all of our pieces. I think now we just make this 9 patch. So let's get all of our pieces back. All right, so it looks like these gray guys are pointed outward. So let's start there. Ooh, it's coming together. Look how dark these outside parts are. This is kind of fun. All right. And then these guys, I think all the flowery parts point towards the inside. Okay. There's those two, and here. Ah, looks amazing. Okay, let's sew it together now. All we have left is a 9 patch. So what a 9 patch is a block where you just have 3 rows and 3 columns. And here we go, 3 rows, 3 columns. We've done this a lot here. Let's sew the first column together, the rows of the column, and then we'll sew the third column onto there. We will take it off the machine at that point, press everything, and then sew all the rows together, and we will have our block. So, all right. Okay, let's look at things that we may need to match, though. Okay, so what I'm seeing right away is this comes to a point here. We don't have to match it really to anything on the other side, but we do want to make sure that we don't sew too far in, because we don't want to cut off the tip of our point there, but we don't want to go too far the other way too. So when we do sew this one on, we'll probably look at it from this side, and then we can see like right where it crosses, and we're going to try and go through that point. So that's one. So that'll be true for all of these squares or triangles. They're going to have to hit those points. And then what else? Oh, and then, gosh, that's really it. I guess once we sew the rows together, we'll want to make sure that these diagonals kind of meet well. But other than that, I don't really see anything else that we got to really pay attention to matching. So that's good to know. Nice to kind of map that out beforehand. Okay, last check. Everything's in the right position. I think we're good. All right, let's start with the top row here. Okay, so I'm going to just flip it. And let's do it, yay! Okay, that's row 1. Okay, let's grab row 2, and this is where I was going to flip it this way, because then I can see that seam. So where this seam matches with that seam, that point right where they meet, that is what I want to like aim for to sew through, and then I shouldn't lose that point. Oh, we're getting big and floppy here again. This might be a time to kind of clip again. Man, we've been working on the Splendid Sampler project for so long that I'm used to just sewing pieces as big as this middle piece. So whenever I have these large pieces, I gotta look at it a little bit. And also I think we sewed this a little bit small, so we may have to kind of try and stretch it a teeny bit to match with this other piece. Hopefully it goes okay. All right, I think we're fine. Let's give it a go. Out of here. Okay, so I'm going to aim for that point here when I get that far. All right, right about there. Good. And the end. Great. Okay, and then our bottom row. So we're sewing in order. We're going top, middle, bottom row, because then it'll be in that same order on this machine. So when I'm done with this one, so this is row 3. I'm going to just snip the last piece off of the machine, so the thing furthest away, and really that's my leader. So let's clip that off, and then I'm going to click the next piece off. There we go. And then we know that that's row 1 because we sewed that one first. So all right, so here's the row so far. The next piece will go here. So this is from column 3 now. So we're sewing column 3, row 1. All right, and this looks good. Good, let's flip it over. Oh, I am missing some comments tonight, you guys. I'm catching some here and there, so I am glancing up. So if I missed a question, just let me know. Oh, did I do something totally off already? No, this is right, isn't it? Oh, man, did I totally biff it? Alyssa, we're yelling at you and you can't hear us. Boo! Okay, what did I do? This goes outward. This one goes outward and it's pointing to the middle. This one's going outward and pointing to the middle. Huh. All right, you guys, what did I do wrong? Oh, the stripes. Do I have the stripes going in goofy ways? I guess I'm not really looking at that. Stripes. All right, look at the pattern of the gray stripes. All right, so these ones are kind of going sideways. Guess I didn't even pay attention to those at all. I forgot that I had stripes on them. All right, well, I will, the middle's going to be what it's going to be, it looks like, and I can swap the top and the bottom, so we'll see what that ends up being. 2 stripes are horizontal, 2 are vertical, they would be best on opposite sides. Well, they're going to be this. I glanced up and everyone's yelling at me, I'm like, oh no! I totally twisted something. Alright. That can be the goofy thing about this block. Yeah, I guess it didn't even occur to me to look at those stripes at all. So that was a good catch. We're stuck with it now, though. Too close to being done to seam rip and try again. All right, let's do this last piece here. We'll take a look at. I think I'm probably screwed now, but we'll take a look at it. I know what you guys are talking about though now. We'll see what it looks like in a sec here. Okay, let's get it off the machine. So our 3 rows are sewn now. So we should just be able to press it and get these last little rows together. We're finishing this guy. All right, boop. All right, so let's check it out. First of all, let's see how we did on these points. Oh, there we go. That's what we want. We want this point going right into there and ending, like, we want that point to be nice and sharp. We don't want to clip it off. And this one looks, yeah, pretty good too. All right, good. All right, so this is what you guys are talking about. I have these stripes are kind of going vertical. These ones are going horizontal. These ones right now are going vertical, and these are going horizontal as well. So in theory, yeah, it would have kind of made sense to maybe put this one here, because then the lines would go this way. They'd all be kind of horizontal then, wouldn't they? So this one would have gone here, and so this would have been horizontal. You can kind of see these lines in the fabric. So these would have been horizontal, these would have been horizontal, and this flip down this way would have been horizontal as well. I see what you guys are saying. Well, I guess we're in it now. So as long as these are still pointed inward, okay. So I think it's good. We're gonna leave it, but I'm with you. I got it. I get you. I'm gonna look at that for the rest of this from now on for sure. That was a good catch. All right, so let's press. These are going to be pressed on towards the inside. Yeah, that would have been kind of cool if it all turned out all going in the same direction. I was so engrossed I didn't hear all the yelling. You know, I might have tried to rip it out, but I'm a little nervous about doing any sort of seam ripping on that gray. Just because it is, I mean, you can see it fray right away. I'm afraid that if I would rip it out, the whole thing would kind of fray. So we got some weirdness here, though. So I don't think our diagonals are going to end up matching perfectly, because there should be just like a 1/4 inch from where this angle, where the gray is here, and here we got like a 1/2 inch. So we are not, there's no way that this diagonal is going to match up. So we're going to be a little wonky in the end. I can tell that already. So that's probably I probably cut it a little bit weird. But oh well. So these go inward as well, these seam allowances. Thought I was cutting it okay, but oh well. Okay, let's flip. Amy's like, we're all trying to teach the teacher. She has us on mute. Yep, I have like in our Zoom meeting in our Zoom school. Turn everyone on mute. All right. There we are. So those guys are ready, and then this one we press outward. So all of our seams should nest together. And you'll see this already wants to go outward. A lot of times you want to press like where it wants to go. There are so many seams right here that it would be a lot of work to press it this way. Then you'd be like doubling up those seams. Whereas here we just have one piece of fabric and one piece of fabric. So it's going to want to push this way. So oftentimes that's, you know, when a designer designs it, they acknowledge that and know just where the fabric wants to go. But if you have to choose, I would go with where the fabric wants to go. Or pressing it open. A lot of people like doing that. Okay, I didn't do that great, so I want to get into the seam here. I forget how big these blocks are. They don't fit on my little ironing mat. Okay. Ugh, I can't believe we're doing this in 2 days. That makes me so happy. I mean, well, we're going to go a hair over. We only got 3 more minutes left. I think just pressing this is going to take 3 minutes and we're done. But, all right, let's... So the one side, then we have to take it off the machine and then sew the other side on. I think we are going to throw some clips in here. So now normally, like how I did the pin earlier, I would want to flip this around and put that pin through that point there and match it to this point. But I can already tell that my points are so off that I'm not even going to bother. What I am going to do is clip the seam. So we will nest our seams together. I mean, look how big that is. That's crazy. So that's never going to match up with this seam. So we're just going to surrender. So I'm going to match these seams together. Throw a clip in there. Let's actually match the edge together too. There we go. At least maybe we can get a vertical line that matches, since our diagonal is going to be pretty off. Let's get this side. Get those seams matching. Ooh, this one feels funny. I think there's just a lot here. Okay. Okay, I think that's, gosh, I'm not like anywhere close to this edge. Well, I guess that's how we sewed it. All right, and then I am going to aim for where all these lines connect here again so I can get that point. But I think that's all I really need to pin. We'll take it off and pin the other side when I'm done versus pinning it now. All right, let's give this a go. I'm going to try and pull on this a little bit so that these are a little closer together. Okay, here's our first matched point. There's kind of a lot going on here, so I'm going to just get my stiletto to help guide things. All right, next obstacle is going to where all that stuff meets, all those seams meet, and that will be our point. Okay, where is it? About right there. Aiming for that. There we go. And then this seam, which seems still feels a little funny to me. But that might be the one that's way different size. All right, anyway, we'll see how we did there. Let's get a leader. All right, snip that and snip the leader. Ooh, does this have 5 in it yet? Sure does. Another one of those guys done. All right. So we won't press this yet. I'll press it when we're completely done. Let's see how we did. Ugh, yeah. Not especially great. I think a lot of it has to do with this stretchy fabric, or maybe I'm just don't know what I'm doing. Could be that too. So the goal was to get this diagonal to line up perfectly with this diagonal. But I could tell I was going to be way off on that right away. Do we at least get this point nice? Okay, that point is not bad at all. So luckily, these all kind of meld together quite a bit. So hopefully it's okay. Does this seem weird? No, this is right. All right. Next up, this guy right here. So this too is a little off. I must have just cut them kind of awkwardly. So let's do the same thing. Let's nest the seams, and I'm going to aim for that point. At least we can get those points good. Now this seam, it looks like we might be able to match, or it's going to get close, but we're just going to sew. I could do that pin lineup thing, but we're fine. And this feller. All right. Line the rest of this up. Okay, I think that'll do. This is it. That one might actually look okay. We'll see. All right, aiming for this point again. All right, good there, and last little bit. This seems all crooked, but let's just nest those seams again. Guess that seems as good as it's gonna get, and this end seems a lot farther away than it should be, but maybe not. Okay, another leader. Gosh, I can't believe how many of these we have. There's still a stack like this tall. Ugh. I'm so glad we're doing it this way instead of sewing them all separately. That was a good idea that one of you had, just to like have these part of my leaders too. That's been really nice. All right, let's see how we did. Get this guy. All right, let's give this a really good press. We are pressing towards the outside. Okay, I think this is where we just sewed. So, okay, much closer on the diagonal. Like, look at this one. This is how it was supposed to look, right? So this diagonal is going right into this diagonal. They should look like one straight line, right? And this one does. So this looks fabulous. This point looks great. We got that full, nice point. It's connecting right at the line. That's a bit wonky, but happy to say I can have at least one nice, perfect diagonal going, even though the rest are super duper duper wonky. All right, let's give this a final press. We go outward with these. Ooh, man. Like I said, forgot that our piece is so big now. Let's go this way. We'll get it from the front as well, but sometimes easier to get it started here. The pressing directions are on the pattern. So again, remember, you guys, this pattern is totally free. It's on the Aurifil blog, Auribuzz. There is a link directly to this post. And if you guys post your finished one on their website, I think there's rules for that. You have a chance of winning 3 packages of their color builders sets. So that's the Aurifil floss, the Aurifil thread, and they're like $40 a pop, sort of thing. So to win 3 boxes, that's winning 9 of these really beautiful Aurifil thread boxes. So, or thread spools. So not a bad idea to go for that. Especially since this one's so quick. Get this one done in 2 days and post it up there. Okay, very happy with this one perfect diagonal. I am happy that all our points match up really well, but dang, we did something when we cut these guys that threw it off for those diagonals to meet. Ah, well. I'm still going to blame it on the fabric. That's so pretty. Oh my gosh, I love how these colors turned out. Eee! Okay, so there we are. It is so juicy. I love, these really turned out to be like a light fabric, really. I mean, they all do kind of blend together, but I still feel really great about it. And I think our dark was really bold. Like that right now, that's what's yelling at me is that dark fabric, and I think it's really fun. Okay, you guys, I'm super happy with it. Let me show you it. All right, so here we are. Here's it from far away. Ooh, it looks so good. Okay, ooh, gosh, it's so big. I can hold it all the way back here. All right, there we are. I hope you guys give this one a go. Like I said earlier, it's just kind of, you learn those 2 little magic tricks, those 2 little tips, like how to do those half square triangles, and then how to do those flying geese units, and then it's like, I got a whole block done. A whole like really kind of intricate looking block. I'm digging it. Love this color. Now I want to do tons of purple stuff. This is just really fun. I'm really happy with it. So, all right, we have 3 whole days left of this week, which is awesome. I would love to finish up the embroidery of the month with you. So tomorrow we will work on that, and I think we'll get that pretty close to done. Maybe Thursday we'll take the stick and stitch stabilizer off of it. And I hope we have an extra day, because on Friday I would love to get the Tyranno embroidery kit out, and that dress up, that free pattern that I have with the Tyranno kit, that dress up pattern where we can decide what the dinosaur should wear and play like paper dolls with the dinosaur. That's going to be fun. So I hope we can get done with the embroidery of the month in the next 2 days, and then Friday we can decide what this dinosaur will wear and at least get the pattern together, and then we can start stitching it. I'm really excited for that. So great. This is a great week. Get this done early, have fun with it, and get some more embroidery stuff done. I'm excited. So thanks again, guys, for joining me here tonight. I appreciate it a ton. Sorry I wasn't hearing your screams. Oh, man. That's how it goes, I guess. So I will see you guys tomorrow. Thanks again. Have a great evening. Good night.